My 2 cents, making India irrelevant to U.S.-China policy. Recently, former U.S. National Security Advisor John Bolton criticized Donald Trump's decision to impose tariffs on India for buying Russian oil. He called it an unforced error, since China was spared for the same behavior. Bolton was right about inconsistency, but what he missed is the larger truth. India itself is the problem. For decades, New Delhi has perfected the art of the double game. On one hand, India demands access to Western markets, seeks free trade deals with Europe, and relies heavily on U.S. technology and diplomacy. On the other hand, it deepens arms and energy ties with Russia, and is now preparing for a high-profile Modi-Xi meeting in Beijing. That is not strategic partnership. That is pure opportunism. History shows this pattern clearly. During the Doklam standoff with China in 2017, India projected itself as a victim of aggression to gain Western sympathy, but never truly challenged Beijing. Today, the tactic continues. India positions itself as a defender of democracy while practicing hard-edged non-alignment. It postures as a leader in the Indo-Pacific, yet refuses to make binding security commitments. The uncomfortable truth is that, if ever forced to choose, India's record suggests it will lean toward Moscow and Beijing. Its dependence on discounted Russian energy, its refusal to sanction Vladimir Putin, and its reluctance to confront Chinese border incursions all expose where its instincts truly lie. Betting on India as a cornerstone of America's Asia strategy was always a miscalculation. The conclusion should now be clear. Washington must stop inflating India's role. No more blank checks, no more illusions about a so-called strategic partnership. Instead, the U.S. should focus on treaty allies that have already proven their reliability: Japan, South Korea, and Australia. These countries have both the capacity and the political will to support America's regional strategy. At the same time, real deterrence against China requires building resilient supply chains that reduce dependence on both Beijing and Delhi. Southeast Asia and Mexico offer more dependable alternatives for manufacturing and trade diversification. By spreading out risk, Washington can strengthen its position without being hostage to India's double game. John Bolton was correct to call out the tariff mistake, but he overlooked the deeper error, clinging to the myth of India as a reliable partner. That myth is dangerous. It blinds Washington to India's opportunism and risks creating another long-term rival. A so-called China 2.0 quote in South Asia is not far-fetched if America keeps indulging New Delhi without accountability. The U.S. cannot afford that mistake. Strategic clarity demands that India be cut down to size, not punished, but placed where it truly belongs, on the sidelines of U.S.-China policy. America's future in Asia depends on strong, tested allies, not on a partner that plays both sides for its own advantage. The time for illusions is over.